Alright guys, welcome back to the Study Prep Guys channel. For today's video, we're looking into Social Studies past papers 2023. This will be a continuation of the last stream. So after we finish up this stream, we could go back to that one. So without further ado, we'll be answering question 3 for tonight. After the past papers 2023 paper 2. So anyways, let's start the stream. So it's nice to be back with you guys today. And for the first question, we're looking into sustainable development. This is part 1, development and use of resources. So the first question is define the term life expectancy. And life expectancy is a relatively basic term. So let's just answer this question quick, nothing hard, nothing difficult. So life expectancy is the amount of years that the person is expected to live. Life expectancy is a basic number of years that a person is expected to live within a country, state, or region. The average lifespan for a human being is 70 in most states across the world. Okay. All right, life expectancy is the basic number of years that a person is expected to live within a country, region, or state. The average lifespan of a human is 70 years old. So when it comes back to this here, life expectancy is how long you're expected to live. The basic life expectancy across the globe, not only within the Caribbean, is 70 years old. That is the average lifespan of persons across the world. Is 70 years old, right? 70 years old. Some people, the average lifespan is 65 to 70, I guess, 65 to 70 years old. That's the average amount of time a person is expected to live. So it says for question 3II, outline one reason for declining death rates in the Caribbean. I could outline one reason for declining death rates in the Caribbean. It's asking why is there a significant decline in death rates in the Caribbean? One reason could be increased security protocols. This is mainly due to the fact that if there is a decline in death rates, that means that the police or the security personnel are actually doing their jobs correctly and coherently. So one reason for declining death rates is due to the fact that there is a decrease in crime due to an increase in personnel in the security protocols within the countries. So that's what I say. When it comes back to this one reason that there could be a decrease in the death rates in the Caribbean is because there's a decrease in crime, meaning that persons are not going into their houses anymore and basically killing you. And they're not doing all these things anymore. So one reason for declining death rates is because there's a lack of crime. And another reason that they could an increase in medical supply and improvement in the healthcare of the country. So another reason why there could be a decline in death rates is because there's increase in healthcare, or there's healthcare efficiency, meaning that persons do not die when they're sick, and personnel persons are doing their job. So back to the issue at hand for question BI. State the two factors that are needed to determine the rate of neutral increase of a population. So for the first one, it says state two factors that are needed to determine the rate of natural increase of a population. So let us break this question in a bit. So it's asking, before we can even go into, we need to understand what is natural increase. Natural increase is generally an increase or influx of births naturally. For example, the in for and when it comes to natural increase, there one factors that are needed to determine the rate of natural increase of a population is the infant mortality rate, and the infant mortality rate, that is one of the factors, and the fertility rate. The fertility rate and the infant mortality rate are two of the factors that are needed in order to determine the natural increase of a population. Gosh. Oh. The two factors that are needed to determine the rate of natural increase is the infant mortality rate and the fertility rate. The infant mortality persons or amount of babies that survive the reproductive procedures. For example, some parents might probably the issue of abortion. This is a big issue not only within the Caribbean. It's generally an issue around the world. So the infant mortality rate and natural increase is basically the growing or basically the production or the proactive production of populations or children within a country. So when you think of it logistically, logically, and practically, the infant mortality rate and the mortality rate is are the parents' children healthy. The infant mortality rate is the amount of persons that survive the procedural process of giving birth to a child. Usually, know that some children die within the reproductive stages of their mother's womb. Could be due to a practical amount of reasons, but the infant mortality rate and the mortality rate are two of the main factors that determine the rate of natural increase of a population. So for you guys out there watching, please subscribe if you haven't yet. And let us go on into question BII. Explain why it is important for a government to know dependency ratio of a population. This is a basic one. Dependency ratio of a country due to the fact and the relevance of its important in the areas of creating jobs for personnel that do not have significant jobs, so that they can have a basic understanding of those that are employed and those that are unemployed, to know whether they have to increase employment by creating opportunities for them, i.e. infrastructure, recreational activities, etc., so that persons can have sustainable jobs. So back to what I was trying to say here. For this question, is a very basic reasons. Is a very basic reasoning for a government to adequately provide jobs for it. They need to know dependency ratio, because dependency ratio are those persons who do not have a job. They need to know what is the ratio. Like for example, the person who are employed versus the person who are unemployed, so that they can create jobs for them, so that they can create jobs for them, so that they can have adequate jobs to supply for their families and what's not. That's the main reason why. And this is not only the reason to be extractive from only the Caribbean, is a reason to be extractive from the world, because all governments need to know the dependency ratio of the population of a country in order to maintain sustainable development. So, so that's question BII. Let's move on to the other question below. And it looks as if we're reaching our climax. Drain is an important factor which limits economic growth in Caribbean countries. And brain drain is the influx of workers to outside developing countries. Like for example, like within some countries, like within third world countries especially, persons might look to other countries, developed countries, Canada, Australia, New Zealand, Singapore, Dubai, and all these countries, and go and work in these what we would call the first world developed countries. And what happens when these persons leave those third world countries? They are left undeveloped, and they develop the already developed country further. So that's what we refer to as brain drain. So it says suggest three actions the government in the Caribbean may take to reduce brain drain. So one activity is extremely simple: provide high paying jobs. Yeah, that's that's a crap. Provide high paying jobs for persons within your country. So one thing it could do is provide high paying jobs, or provide jobs that could adequately supply for your country's citizen. Because what happens a minority of times is that um, developing countries don't supply enough enough finance towards their citizens, and they don't give them high paying jobs. So they get fed up of it. They say, oh hell freaking no, and they leave and they go their way. So that is providing high paying jobs could do a lot of things to reduce or to reduce the to reduce to reduce brain drain. And one other thing that could be do is by diversifying work opportunities. Diversifying work opportunities. One thing about, like, for example, when it comes to Caribbean countries, and especially, what happens is that we usually get our income from tourism. We usually get our income from our forestry. We usually get our income from our natural resources. But we don't. We need to diversify our work opportunities and provide different work opportunities for persons. Because usually, what happens is that, for example, a person that wants to be an astronaut cannot be an astronaut in Caribbean countries. A person that wants to be a neuroscientist cannot be a neuroscientist within the Caribbean. Somebody that wants to be any of these things, these what we call elite jobs, do not have the opportunities, or do not have the even the qualification. They do have the qualifications, but they don't have the opportunity to even do these jobs. So what I would advise Caribbean economies to do more a minority of times is actually to diversify their work opportunities and to provide these work opportunities that are of a high degree, so that these persons could stay in the country to develop your country. And another reason could be to provide incentives for your citizens. Providing incentives, or, like, for example, benefits towards your citizens can go a long way when it comes to, like, if you want to develop your country, your economy, and what's not. Provided incentives is one of the major ways you can actually do that. Incentives meaning, like, to do tax cuts, to do a reduction in tax, to do a reduction in these things from actually living a good life and actually being able, and provide incentives, tax cuts to citizens can really go a good way to reduce the brain drain activities that is pending within the economy. So three actions: provide high paying jobs for persons within your country, diversifying work opportunities, and providing incentives for your citizens. That is three actions that could be taken. And let me do, like, which action y'all anyway. Chat empty right now, so I have to wait a couple more minutes probably. So when it comes back to, like, for example, yeah, I could give any of these points. Let me go this pen here. Chat, what y'all think we should use? Which one of these actions? Which one of these actions should we state to be effective? Should we do providing high paying jobs for person? Because right now we're answering explanation. They want explanation for one of these points, and they want us to state how will it be effective. Let's go with this first one here. Let's not check this. We're going with this one here. We're going with that one. We go with that one. Providing high paying jobs for persons can be a great deal in reducing the activity of brain drain within the country, due to the fact that persons will be more willing to stay within their home country other than go out to other developing country, or already sustainable countries. They will feel a need to stay in their home country, which is already giving them what they need. So as we was trying to say, this is the explanation right here. By providing high paying job, persons are more willing to stay within their home country because they're already getting what they need, what with the high degree of financing they get within their jobs or the amount of high wages they get, they will be more willing to stay within their country and basically live there because they already having everything they need. There wouldn't be a need anymore to actually go to other countries to have jobs that are paying adequate finance. Always with your chat. Unlike me, this is a good Saturday and I'm doing the work. Anyways, let's move on to the next question. This is regional integration. This will be your final live stream for social studies past papers 2023. Yeah, guys, do some research on this and we will come back to this in our next live stream. So guys, it's nice to meet you guys today back, and the next live stream we'll be doing is regional integration power paper 2023, and hopefully I will see you until then. So guys, the study prep guy is out.